Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons, and specifically its relationship with developers and the economic ramification of its relationship with software developers. All right, so the reason why I'm talking about this is I was thinking about, specifically I was thinking about what goes on with Dungeons & Dragons settings, right? And I thought I came up with this idea that Dungeons & Dragons settings should be franchised, right? And one of the reasons why I was like, because big tech companies could buy those franchises, right? And I realized the more I was thinking about this that I kind of skipped a step, right? And the more I'm thinking about this, I really think that the economics for Dungeons & Dragons are wrong. Hasbro and WotC have the economics for Dungeons & Dragons wrong. Right? And here's why. Now, it's not their fault. Like, we live in a very strange time. Economics are strange. IPs are strange. Things change really quickly nowadays, and so it's easy to get these things wrong, okay? So here's the thing. I think so right now, everybody thinks, what is the value of Dungeons & Dragons, right? Well, for a long time, people thought it might be a movie and it might be a video game. Those things have not panned out. They've both been tried, and the reality is neither one of them has been persistently successful, okay? They've neither one of them, all right? Now, at the macro level, right? They've had some minor successes, but at the macro level, they're not persistently successful, okay? All right. So what is the value of Dungeons & Dragons? Well, the obvious value is the books that you can sell for it, right? Well, the reality is, at the macro level, nobody cares about books anymore. Like, there's such a tiny, small market. And so Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, and Hasbro is trying to juice Dungeons & Dragons for the cash it can get. By the way, I have no problem with that, right? I'm a pure capitalist, right? I'm a red-blooded American. I love the pursuit of money, as long as nobody's getting harmed. It's just good red-blooded American competition, right? So I'm totally down with them squeezing Dungeons & Dragons for the juice money you can get out of it, right? So here's the issue, right? I think that everyone has the value on Dungeons & Dragons wrong, right? They think it's the books. They think it's the books, the DMG, the PHP, the MM, the core books, maybe some adventures here and there, whatever, right? But it's all chump change. It's all chump change, especially nowadays, because very, very few people actually read, okay? But here's and Dungeons & Dragons reach overall between 8 and 10 million people currently. This is known. It was announced last year. That reach is low, okay? But its influence is huge. Its influence is so big, right? And one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is just this idea of understanding the actual influence of Dungeons & Dragons. Who is interested in Dungeons & Dragons and what influence those people have. So follow through. Here's the through line, okay? America, the American economy, is the catalyst for the world's economy. Doesn't matter what country you go onto on this planet, you're going to find US dollars there, and lots of them, right? Now, in the US, try to find a ruble, try to find a peso, try to find whatever. You're not going to find many, right? And the reason why is we run the world's economy. The world's economy does not run us, period, okay? US is driving the world's economy, okay? What drives the American economy? Well, in my opinion, right now, the absolute most robust industry in America is tech, okay? Tech is massive, right? It's billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars are flying around in the tech industry every year, right? So now, what is the top tier of knowledge worker within the tech industry? That is a software developer, okay? At the macro level, what band of workers, right? I know you have execs and all that kind of stuff, but there aren't enough of them to matter in the numbers that I'm talking about, right? Software developers are absolute rock stars in every tech company right now. They can demand pretty much whatever they want. They're highly sought after. There are no out-of-work software developers. None, right? They are incredibly valuable resources for any team, right? Okay, all right. Now, what do software developers have an eternal adhesive draw to? Guess what? Dungeons and Dragons, right? Software developers absolutely love Dungeons and Dragons. Now, this is a really clear through line on why. It's systematized Tolkien. Tolkien wrote the best fantasy in the world. Dungeons and Dragons did the best job of systematizing Tolkien, right? And that systemization is very good for Tolkien, but also very good from a game perspective, okay? Now, I actually think Dungeons & Dragons is, for developers, software developers, is actually way more important than movies or video games. And the reason why is movies, you know, they're really not systematized the way Dungeons & Dragons is. Video games, software developers, in my opinion, do not have as strong a relationship to video games as they do to Dungeons & Dragons. And the reason why is I think they do initially, but they grow out of it. And the reason why is video games have a whole host of problems, and they're very close to what those developers do on a daily basis for their job, right? They're coming from the computer, and these people want to escape the computer for just a short period of time for something cool and innovative and compelling. And Dungeons and Dragons delivers that in a way that nothing else can. It's systematized, but also it's artistic, it's imaginative, it is for pure drop-dead intelligent people, right? Which all software developers are, right? It is a perfect match. And Dungeons & Dragons is a siren call to software developers. And that siren's call, that draw, is eternal and adhesive. It is internal in that it's never going to change. Code will always be systematized. D&D, in my opinion, will always be the top TRPG at minimum for the next 50 to 100 years. Okay, so when I say eternal, I kind of mean a century, right? All right, so I'm just using, it's a big word there, but what I'm saying is it's not going to end, right? Not anytime soon, right? So that to me, that is what must be understood about the real value of Dungeons & Dragons right now, right? Is that Dungeons & Dragons is a siren call to the most sought-after workers in the most robust industry for the most robust country in the world. It is a direct line to a large group of super smart, incredibly sought-after, incredibly well-paid people. Dungeons & Dragons is uniquely valuable, and its value is massively hidden right now. Nobody gets what I'm saying here. No one's talking about this, right? I listen to all the TRPG commentators, right? You don't hear people talking at length about the actual economic value within Dungeons & Dragons and what it comes from, right? And so that relationship, that beloved, Dungeons & Dragons is beloved by software developers, right? And they have this goodwill from software developers that hasn't even been touched yet. It's completely untapped. And so, in my opinion, everyone, WotC, Hasbro, all the TRPG commentators out there do not understand the actual, true, blazing, vibrant economic value hidden within Dungeons & Dragons. And there's absolutely precedence for this because I really think that Dungeons & Dragons is exactly like Marvel was in the 80s, right? It's just super undervalued, and people didn't really understand the true economic engine within it, right? So that's my take. I'm really curious what you guys think of this theory, and please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.